I've noticed a little bit that there are some Democratic representatives that maybe have just lost the passion, or because they're outnumbered, they've taken a comfortable back seat and they cruise without even necessarily thinking. It's not that I want to accuse them of anything, but where is the passion? Where is the enthusiasm? Because we in Georgia are really at an exciting time on the verge of change. Hopefully we're going to have Stacey Abrams as our governor, and she very much deserves to represent these people who want her, who clearly want her. So it's just a question of, how do you keep up the enthusiasm, and what could drive you to fight harder, even if these forces make you resign and lean back.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, because these once you win an open seat, it tends to be pretty, historically at least, pretty easy to kind of hang on to that seat, because it's really just becomes well, I'm just choosing among Democrats. Does it really matter? They're all going to vote the same way anyway. But the representation is really a lot more than just the votes you take. I mean, that's kind of the minimum that we can expect. I mean, I expect Democrats to stand up for fully funding public schools. I expect them to stand up for racial equality and justice. I expect them to stand up for access to health care and women's bodily autonomy and all of those issues. But it's relationships you build. It's what you do in committees. It's bringing that same enthusiasm to your committee work that you bring to the votes. So, while it can definitely happen that people get comfortable, especially when, once they've been in a while, it doesn't have to be that. And when we get the right folks up there, there's some leaders in Atlanta who they fight the good fight year after year after year, even against long odds. I mean, I've been working on gun violence prevention in Georgia. So, I mean, I'm a veteran of like 2 guns on campus fights in the 2016, 2017 era. And I can remember the senators and the reps up there who just left it all out on the floor on those floor debates about that issue, because it's important and because their constituents care and because their constituents want them to. So, it can be done with the right leadership. And I think, I try to just, anytime I can educate, I try to, and just say, your state legislature has a lot of power over our lives. I know you're focused on what Buddy Carter's doing, and the cable news cycle in Washington it draws us all in like a reality show. I know you're watching what city council's doing, but there is so much going on in the General Assembly that will affect your life day in and day out. And so to the extent I can help people to understand that and get interested in that, I'm always going to do that.
Mm-hmm. I just remembered something. I think it was 2013. When did the House in DC, they were sitting on the floor protesting gun violence, and it was John Lewis, I think, was the one who was leading
after the Pulse shooting. I want to say that was 2015, but those images are burned in my mind. I think in the House we didn't have the numbers. Mm-hmm. And so, what are you going to do to put pressure? And that gets to your other question, which is, what do you do when you don't have the numbers? Well, you get creative. Mm-hmm. And if it takes putting a civil rights icon, sitting on the floor, then that's what you do. Yeah. So that's a great example.
Yeah, I mean, I look at politics as a sort of evolution of enthusiasm, to be honest. I mean, quite frankly, it's not necessarily about having the numbers at the beginning. It's about earning the numbers through passion and through fighting for these issues. And that was one of those times when I was really not very political, but very proud, mm-hmm. Just of the ability of those legislators to just show some substance, and I think that needs to happen, that people have to have substance behind what they're doing, and not just do it for the basic functionality of government. I mean, there has to be a reason that you're doing it behind.